question, why should Jeremy Corbyn be Prime Minister? Boris Johnson is currently Prime Minister. He's not been elected by the public, by the populace, by a tiny fraction, have elected him. So, considering the Labour Party is the largest political party in Western Europe, over 500,000 members, who've twice elected Jeremy Corbyn to be leader of the party, just on those pure democratic optics alone, there's plenty of reason why he should be. But in terms of a positive view for what the country could be, this is the first time there'll be an anti-imperialist, anti-racist Prime Minister in Downing Street if that happens. And don't the media know it? All the associations that they make, all the nudge wink that goes around Diane Abbott and people like that in the cabinet who, what will that say about Britain to the outside world? And I think that's a really important juncture that we're at, because we're either going to be the Britain of Boris Johnson or we're going to be the Britain of Jeremy Corbyn. And for all these people saying, oh, well, I feel politically homeless because I've lost complete respect for you. Because if you find that choice really hard, if you're like, oh, Boris or Corbyn, they're both the same, I really don't know how to continue a political dialogue with people like that. I'm just going to get on with strengthening our base, which, the 20% of people and stuff who agree with you, energizing a movement, which is what this event is about, and getting out there to those people who are fence sitters who need to be persuaded. I'm totally a fan. I'm down with Corbyn, down with his values and principles. I don't think he's always comported himself with the most political nous and savvy. He's not always been the most tactical and strategic, but that's precisely what part of his appeal is about. It's about having principles, having some integrity, and following that through. It's impossible to have not noticed the way that he's been put through the mill. And I think this whole smearing of an anti-racist as a racist over the past year and a half is going to spectacularly backfire, because there's a lot of racist people in Britain, right? We have this racist history, but there's one thing I can say that we don't like. It's someone being overtly bullied in public. We all watched Jade Goody be racist. And then when it suddenly turned a corner when she had cancer, and we were like, oh no, we just don't leave her alone, right? There's plenty of examples in which we're quite happy to pick on immigrants and refugees and stuff, but the moment there's a tipping point, people sort of recoil, like, that's not who we are. And I think that was the case with Windrush. Government didn't expect the British people to behave like that. It's been like that with few little moments in the refugee crisis, and it will happen again as we get into an election cycle, that people are like, they're labouring this, pardon the pun, Corbyn as a racist thing a bit too hard, because nothing in his track record shows that, and it wasn't mentioned at all before 2015, which seems really suspicious to anyone with any objective pair of eyes.